Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This week I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight Season 14, Episode 4. In this episode, we got to catch up with the couples on wedding night. They met their spouse's family the next morning and then they went off on their honeymoon. So I'll review my couples as I normally do and we'll see how we go. I'll start off with Jasmina and Michael. Jasmina and Michael for me are one of my favorite couples this season. They seem to be getting along very well. They enjoyed their wedding night, although they said they slept through the night. They then met with their families. Jasmina met with Michael's sisters and Michael met with Jasmina's mother. And for me, you can see that these two people, I don't know, it's early days, but they seem to be in it for the right reasons. And I think Michael's sisters have tried their best to be as welcoming to Jasmine as possible and to make sure that, they give their young brother the best opportunity to a great start. Jasmina's mother, though, was different because she said she's still concerned that, about the marriage at first sight process, and she's concerned about whether Michael is in it for the right reasons, which is to be expected given what families have seen in previous seasons. From there, they sort of went on their honeymoon. And for me, I think if there's a couple that's going to be successful this season, Jasmina and Michael have all the ingredients to be a very successful couple. So I really hope they work. They seem to be taking time to get out to know each other. They seem to be very patient with one another and seem to be really after a very successful marriage. So I hope, if nothing else, sort of stands in the way that they have a successful marriage. They seem to be doing very well amongst themselves. They seem to be very comfortable around each other and they seem to be trying to be as open as they can be. But we'll see how the season goes. Then we move on to my other favorite couple, which is Noi and Steve. Noi and Steve are really one of my favorite couples as well. They seem to be operating in their own little bubble and sort of trying to keep away from any drama to do with any of the other couples, just like Michael. They sort of met they were very comfortable around each other because Noi was concerned that, once she sort of cleaned off the makeup and stuff and she sort of settled in for the night, whether Steve would still be attracted to her. And he seems very easygoing and very comfortable because he's seen arranged marriages before, as he said. And so what he's after is more after a successful relationship than the fact that it's an arranged marriage. They met up with their families, and I think both families still brought up the issue of the job, which is bound to be expected, given the fact that it is important for someone to have a career, employment and to have a source of income. And so Noi's brother came dressed, as his sister, and Steve just rolled with it. He didn't bat an eyelid. You didn't seem fazed by the fact that she was dressed differently. Noi's brother really wanted to know and was really asking the probing questions, like poor Steve was at an interview. And at one point, Noi's mother had to step in because the brother was asking whether Steve was interested in starting a family. And the mother had to say, he needs a source of income before they can consider starting a family, which is right. Children cost money and you will need income to look after children. Noi met with Steve's family. She seemed very happy with them. They seemed very happy with her. She comes across as a very emotional person, and I think the family could see that. And Steve's mother and father seemed very accepting of her, although the father was concerned about the issue of the job. And you always get a family member who will say something, during those interviews that you just think, why would you say that on camera? And the father was talking about, a job, and he was concerned about his son getting a job and wanting to settle down in one place. Noi didn't really seem fazed by it. I think Noi is more after a lasting relationship, and I think Steve will want a job, though, because when Noi brought it up to him, he sort of said, we'll talk about it later. And I think it's something that they're going to discuss off camera and something they're going to have to sort of grapple with and come up with a solution. They seem very comfortable in themselves. They enjoyed themselves on their honeymoon. You know, when there was the issue with Olujuan and Lindsey, they sort of appeared to mind their own business like Michael. They didn't comment. They didn't involve themselves. And when they were up in their room, it was so nice to see Steve trying to make his wife comfortable because she was saying she's got a fear of heights. So he was being very supportive and trying to make sure that she felt safe, which was very heartwarming. From there, I have three favorite couples, I have to say, this season, just as I normally do every other season, it seems. My other favorite couple is Lindsey and Mark. Lindsey and Mark, for me, are a match made in heaven if Lindsey doesn't say something that will ruin it, sadly, because Mark seems very patient and very accommodating. They enjoyed their wedding night. She seems very comfortable with Mark. She seems very pleased that he's the one she's been matched with. I love the fact that she didn't talk about his package at all. Hopefully she's sorted that issue out. They met with the families, and you could tell that Mark's friends really like Lindsey and they've grown fond of her and they were very accepting of her. So, on the other hand, Lindsay's father came up. I think Lindsay's father can see the potential with Mark and is concerned that his daughter might say something that will eventually turn him off. And that's why he was trying to sort of give Mark a heads up. And Mark, for me, is one of the spouses, is the sort of spouse that I like on Married at First Sight, someone who's willing to listen, someone who's willing to learn, someone who's willing to grow. And so he was taking on board everything they were saying. They met up afterwards and they seemed very comfortable and happy and were joking about their conversations with their family. And they were very excited to go on their honeymoon, but sadly, on the bus, on the plane, I understand Lindsay sort of brought up something about, them having to speak Spanish because they're in Puerto Rico, because that's where they went for their honeymoon. And I don't know why Olujuwon was offended by it. I know some people commented on Twitter. For me, I don't find it offensive. When someone comes to, for example, to America, to England, whatever, people expect you to be able to speak the language. But when those same people go to a different country, they don't want to speak the language there. They want to speak their own language. And it's like, well, if you expect me to speak English in your country, why can't you come to my country and learn to speak my language? But then I digress. And she seemed really heartbroken. She seemed very upset about it. And I like the fact that Mark was very grounded. He didn't seem to involve himself in the fight. His concern was making sure that Lindsay was fine. And once they got to the hotel and Lindsay had settled in, he then went and had a conversation with the group and tried to sort of calm things down and make sure that they were all on the same page. And it really, it really warmed my heart to see how Mark is really trying to look after his wife and also make sure that everything goes according to plan and everybody enjoys their honeymoon. He seems like someone who's sort of fond of taking care of others. So I hope Lindsay really gives him an opportunity and they have a successful marriage. And from there we go to Olujuwon and Katina. For me, Olujuwon and Katina really don't have much to say. Olujuwon and Katina, for me, are sort of the Rachel and Jose of last season, in the sense that there's really nothing much to say, in the sense that I see a ticking time, I see them that they're going to explode, they're going to combust, and they're never going to be able to come back to, to have a successful marriage. Because, yes, I think they're more physically attracted to one another and they're going to focus on the physical attraction than anything else. And that's going to sort of get in the way of them getting to know one another, because yes, they seem to enjoy their wedding night. They met their families. I didn't like the way that Olujuwon responded to Katina's friend when he was trying to ask him, thought-provoking questions, and he kept coming up with these smart remarks. So when I saw that, someone had fought with Lindsay, I just knew it had to be him because of the way he responded when he was confronted by Katina's family member. Katina met with Olujuwan's mother. And for me, there's something off about the two of them. I really don't know what it is, and I really can't pinpoint it. But I don't know. I wish them all the best. I don't see them lasting. Really, I don't know. And then the troubled children, Alyssa and Chris. I really feel sorry for Chris. He drew the short straw this season. I really feel sorry for him because it looks like he went into this process with the right best of intentions and sadly was matched with someone who had a different opinion to him. So they didn't spend the wedding night together because Alicia said she didn't feel comfortable around Chris. So she then went to her own room. But then apparently at 2:30, they had a conversation about what to do off camera. And so when they met up with the families, Chris obviously, he is right to say it. He told Alicia's mum that, they didn't have a great start, things weren't working out and this, that, and the other. And I think Alicia's mum sees the potential in Chris and is disappointed that her daughter is not seeing that. And I really hope she has a conversation with the daughter and tells her daughter that, you're not all that. You need to tone down and sort of open your mind to this guy because you're going to lose out on a great guy. Alicia met up with, Chris's friends, and she was very standoffish. I personally don't understand her problem because she seems more focused on the physical features and is because his teeth didn't meet her standard of teeth. She's now started to pick on every single thing. His hobbies, they don't get along on that. Oh, she doesn't like the way he talks. She doesn't like the way he does this. So when they came back after meeting with the family members and they went on their honeymoon, she was then disappointed that he told her mother that things didn't work out on the first night, and it's like, what did you expect him to do? To lie? He can't lie. He has to tell them the truth. And so she then threw another tantrum. And it's very sad that she's emotionally and psychologically abusing this man and is being allowed to get away with it. I wish as soon as she realized she didn't like him, I wish she had just told him, let's stop. Or just turned around and said, no, he's not for me. And, they would have found a different couple. I really, really, really feel sorry for Chris this season because he seems to have drawn the short straw. I don't know. We'll see what happens next week. Thanks, guys, for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys.